So January, you've had all the fun of Christmas and New Year, you're looking at a month of coldness, but these games have really brought some light to the dark days.
Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian, we are BoxedMeeples, and today we're talking about our favourite game that we played in January, and there are some gems this month. Gosh, yes, some that I think might even hit future top 10s.
Well, a game that I really enjoyed playing this month was actually Civilization: A New Dawn. I picked this up for cheaps while I was doing Christmas present shopping. I just saw it there for sort of 60% off, and I took a risk on it because I knew this has got the card management that we absolutely love in Ark Nova. And really that's the headline attraction in this game, which actually lends itself really well to a kind of civilization game because, in case you don't know, you have a row of 5 cards and you can play these cards at any time, but the longer you leave them, the stronger they get. So if you take a card from the far right, it's going to be full power 5 strength. However, if you take a card from the far left, it's much, much weaker. So in so doing, taking one card, you move it to the left, and then everything shifts up the track and therefore gets stronger. And in a civilization style game, this means you kind of have to play everything evenly. Now, I haven't played a great deal of civilization games. In fact, the one I have played is kind of an abstracted version of that, which is Tapestry. So it's really great to play a more authentic exploration style civilization game. And I then realised that there's strength to doing all of the things to be successful, particularly in Civilization: A New Dawn, because in this game you have certain objectives you need to meet, and the first person to get all 3 of those ends the game. And often the clever card play means that you're able to get each of these 3 objectives, even though they could be very different things. It could be very different goals that aren't always complementary if you focus on achieving one sort of thing of your city. Now, when we played it, actually we played it with the expansion, which I also had to pick up. This is Civilization: A New Dawn, Terra Incognita expansion. And what this did add was the one thing I think would be missing in this game, and that is more confrontation, more military aspects, which aren't included in the base game. Also, with the expansion, you're doing far more exploring. So in the base game, the map's all set out. There's no kind of exploring to be done, really. But once you've added in the expansion, you're revealing tiles as you go. And that really does feel like an expanding world, a world of surprises and mystery. It adds a little bit more to the playtime, but it still meets that kind of objective of being a fully fledged civilization game in 2 hours. Obviously, I haven't played the video games on which this is based, and I know the art is taken from Civilization 6, which has been a little bit divisive in some reviews, but I really liked it on the table. I really liked how the world looks as you look over. I liked moving my little caravans around to deliver goods, and I liked those little pesky marauders who kept on wanting to attack and bring down my my caravans. I was just trying to innocently deliver goods to take on the cities. And I really enjoyed just seeing the world expand, be it my tiny little city getting bigger and bigger and bigger as I was making it into a mega city with the little defended markers around it as we were playing it. So in terms of civilization games, I found it very easy to get into without even having taken on a lot of those much, much bigger kind of expansive games. So it's a good one to start with. It is, like I said, a cheap bargain buy, but it's actually one I'm really pleased to have got into our collection, and it won't be leaving our collection anytime soon, especially with this expansion. So yeah, my game of the month has been Civilization: A New Dawn.
Yeah, that was a really fun play. I really enjoyed it, and I loved how you have different player abilities, so it was slightly asymmetrical. There's going to be some variety in terms of what you're going to be hunting towards, so each play will be different. So I'm intrigued to sort of play some different characters and have different goals ahead of me, or different ways to get different bonuses. Will be interesting.
Yeah.
My pick this month is Rising Sun. Now, we played this right back at the very beginning of the month, over that festive period. And I just think it is such a gem. It's been sat on the shelves. We've been hoping to play it for such a long time. And we managed to persuade someone to come and teach it to us so that it would be a bit easier. We do need the 3rd player for this one. But I'm desperate to play it again. It was absolutely amazing. And I can certainly see that this could end up in my top 10 quite easily. You have got that traditional sort of area control that you expect from an Eric Lang game. We have played Ankh and Blood Rage a few times, and it has got some similarities in that, but also you've got a lot of other bits and bobs going on, which I really like. The card play is interesting because you've got different characters, ones that are better on the board, moving about, controlling areas, starting fights, and others that are better to go off to some of the top tiles, and then you're basically at the end of the rounds, you're going to see who controls that as to whether they can take that action, which may give you another card which is going to help you throughout the game. So in our game that we played, I picked up one that was going to give me extra points for monsters, because at that point I'd managed to get 3 different monsters, so I thought, wow, excellent, I'll maximise that. And I think you can really sync up the things that you're doing with the powers that you have to make sure that you're maximising the points there. This is a game very much known for its alliances, and in it you have the option to form an alliance with another player. And when you do that, when you're doing your standard card play, which is actually also an interesting play, you get given a bunch of cards that are remaining, you choose which action you want blindly and put that down, and then it goes over, whatever's remaining goes to the next player. But if you have an alliance, when you're taking that action, you also get to do, effectively, a bottom bonus action that only people within that alliance are able to do. And it really changes up who you want to ally with, whether you want to break alliances or whether that will be quite punishing for you. And if you aren't an alliance, it really sways what different actions you might want to do. We definitely found as 3 players, there was always someone in an alliance and always someone out of the picture each round, and that did change throughout the game, but the person who wasn't in the alliance was always playing different types of cards and trying to do something different to sort of make up for the bonuses that they were missing at that time, and that was really interesting. So yeah, can't wait to delve into this further and have more games and see what's going on. The points was really interesting in terms of the area control, where you're you know which areas are going to point at each time. So sometimes you've got a load of men somewhere and it's like, oh well, that area's not going to give any points this round, and I'm also trying to set collect for the areas, so you need to make sure that you're getting a variety of colours and the colours that are also pointing that round. So there's lots of things to think about, lots going on, but I think I fall in love with it.
Well, needless to say, from a Simon game, it looks incredible on the table.
Yes.
All of their miniatures always look
Fantastic.
And yeah, that's certainly true for this one. Yeah, and I'm itching to play it again, and I'm keen to see how it works with kind of an even player count, where the alliances then people are always alike with someone, and no one's kind of left out in the cold as a third wheel. And it'd be interesting to see then the dynamics, whether you'll change allegiances of people or whether you'll stick as a duo. It's a really fantastic game, and I won't be surprised if we start seeing some expansions appearing in our shelves just to see how it mixes up. But it's great to finally get a chance to play it. I always thought that Blood Rage was always be my favourite of these games, but that might change. Who knows? We'll see. Now, if you're interested in buying any sort of board games, the first place you should probably head out to will be your local friendly game store. But I actually managed to blag this expansion for a really cheap on a website that we like called Geekyzone. They have some incredible offers on very selected titles on there. So if you have a certain game in mind, always worth just checking out on there to see what you can get, because I got this for a fraction of its normal retail price. And if you're interested in buying from Geekyzone, we have got a discount code. Simply enter BoxedMeeples at the checkout in the discount code section and you'll find yourself getting it even cheaper still. But yes, what game have you really enjoyed this month in January? Do let us know down in the comments down below.
We'd love to hear from you, and of course don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic, and we will bring to you more board game based videos 2 to 3 times a week, every single week.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.